Ty? What's up, dude? What are you doing out here?
Taking photos?
Where's your camera?
Huh? It's somewhere around here.
Are you okay, dude? You look awful.
I'm fine. I've only lived here a few minutes.
Did you say lived here? That is a lot of squirrel halves.
I didn't eat those.
I didn't say you did. I think you'd better come with me.
I don't think the forest mother would like that very much.
Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but come with me. We're gonna go see a very nice doctor and barber. All right. I tracked him down and I held him down, and I used some porcupine quills to shave his beard, so he looks a little more presentable now. Slightly, still very, very ugly, but I don't know if we can fix that with just porcupine quills and sharpened rocks. But he looks a little more presentable now. Maybe we'll get him a job. I don't know what the hell he's been doing out here, but I've been here a whole bunch of times. It looks a little bit different every time, and obviously I'm gonna do some long exposures, see what kind of shots we can get. There's still a ton of snow down on the ground. Holy shit, I almost died. Iced over, so I should be able to walk on it. But what's nice about coming here in the wintertime is that it forms two water pillars. In the spring, it's just one big, kind of ugly white mess. But here there's some definition in it, so I might be able to do some telephoto, long exposures of it and get some nice little scenes out of it. I honestly didn't think there'd be that much snow here still, but this isn't a canyon. There's like never any sun that gets here. And that's one of the reasons we chose to come here today, was because it's clouded over and can't really do street photography in the clouds. A lot of landscape is boring, but waterfalls always look great with soft light. So anyway, I've been here for about an hour. I haven't shot a single photo. I've been just trying to keep this little monster in check. Now he's climbing on people. Probably smells all the eaten squirrels and raccoons and shit. Absolutely disgusting behavior. Well, Ty took off. I got a few really cool super wide angle shots. Usually when I come here, I can't get anywhere down there. I have to end up way down here because there's so much water, but since it's all frozen over, you can get nice and close. I would have taken you guys down there with me, but I mean, this is already loud. It would have just been insane down there. There's no way you would have heard me anyway. And honestly, shooting waterfalls is like, it's nice and it seems like it's gonna be relaxing before you go out there, but it ends up being kind of fucking stressful because you're running around, you can't hear anything, your ears like end up ringing afterwards. And then I have these little task wipes that Nick Page recommended to keep the lens dry. So you're like, you know, I focus stacked all those just to make sure that it's in focus from front to back. So I end up focusing, wiping the lens, take a photo, focus, wipe the lens, take a photo over and over, like 3 or 4 times or however many to get everything in focus. And it's just like, it's a bit of a race, but God, does it make some cool photos. I love it when the falls look like this. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna stay here. I got a bit of a shivering little piggy. I'll probably at least go back to the truck and warm up for a few minutes, let him chill in there. I'm gonna try to get at least a few more shots before I go. And then there's actually another spot that I always shoot when I come here, up the road a little bit. where the S-shaped road goes in between a couple tall rock walls, and you can climb up on one of them and look down on the road, and it looks really nice. Honestly though, those are a little bit better for sunset, and fuck off, Lumix. Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing, you bitch? Fuck you. Yeah, I don't know, we'll probably hang out in the car for a few minutes longer and see if I can get any other compositions down here. I had to come back to the truck. This little piggy was just shivering like crazy. I knew it was gonna be cold today, but when I left the house, it seemed like it was a lot warmer than it said it was gonna be. But when you're up by the water and shit and all that mist, it gets cold real quick. I was sweating because I have 2 coats on, but he only has, well, he kinda has 2 coats too, little liar. I'm really liking the super wide angle ones. This is the first time I've actually taken the 14 to 24 out to do naturey, landscapey type shit. And I think it went really well. It was a lot of fun actually, because I'm always wanting a wider lens. I did have to pull the lens off and drop one of the HIDA filters in, which is kind of a pain in the ass, especially when you're outside. But anyway, then I went back up where he was stationed and I actually threw the 85 on, which is another new thing that I've never really done before. I've never used the 85 for this kind of stuff either. So I was able to get some nice compressed shots of the whole waterfall, and then also some really close-up ones of just little intricate details. We'll see how they end up being. I think they'll be okay. So I'm gonna head down the road a little bit. I'm gonna try this other spot. We'll wait a little while, see if we get any blue skies. I honestly doubt it. It's supposed to be cloudy all day. But maybe we'll take a couple up there, and then we'll head home and fuck around in Lightroom. One thing I forgot to mention to you guys, if you're ever going to shoot in wet areas, waterfalls, lakes, rivers, oceans and shit, make sure that you wear pants that have zip pockets and put your phone in there, because the Helen Hunt waterfall video on my channel, I'll put a link to it, but my phone fell into the water when I was crouched down, and that was not good. So don't be a dipshit like me and let that happen to you. The first time I came here, I was super excited to shoot the waterfall, and I got some okay shots, but on the way up I noticed this, which is this big rock formation that's just to the left of the road on the way up, and then another rock formation on the right. And I was like, shit, that looks kind of cool. So I went and I shot the waterfall, got some okay shots, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try that shot on the way back down. I camped out. You can climb up this thing and you can look right down onto the S shape, and it's like such a beautiful composition. I still love it, so that means that it's gotta mean something. I really wish I saved those raw files, but I didn't because I was a dipshit back then. So again, don't be an idiot like me and make mistakes like that. Save your raw files, especially if it's a photo that you're really excited about. Always save your raw files. But anyway, I'm gonna probably check this out for a couple minutes. We'll see if the light does anything. The sun sets in about an hour and a half. I really don't think it's gonna look any different than it does right now, but I'll just run a time lapse, and then it's very doubtful, but there's always a chance that the sun will peek through the clouds at some point or another. All right, so we're back home. I wanted to just go over the photos in Lightroom. I'm not really gonna do any editing for the end of this video. I just kind of want to go through and kind of explain what I was thinking, because I wasn't really able to do that at the time because it was so loud, and I couldn't really do video while I was down there. So I figured we'd just jump through them and I can just talk a little bit about my choices, lens choices and stuff like that. So initially when I got there, I really wanted to do something with this ice because this ice isn't normally there. So I wanted to try to use it as a foreground. I tried a couple different things. There was this little tiny outcrop here. I really wanted to use that as a foreground, but it just didn't really end up working out. I tried to focus stack it to see if I could get that to work, but focus stacking stuff like this, I really struggle with. Photoshop really struggles with. I just couldn't get it to work right. And at the end of the day, looking at it, it's not a very good composition anyway. You can't really tell how big this is, and it just sort of blocks everything. So I sort of moved on, ended up taking this one, which was the first one that I kind of like. And for some of these I darkened down the snow, but on this one I actually ended up brightening some of it up a little bit because I think it leads nicely into the waterfall. So it kind of starts over here and takes your eye up and into the waterfall. This one I ended up not really having to focus stack. The foreground is pretty out of focus, but that doesn't really matter. I feel like the interest kind of starts around here anyway, so. And since it's snow, you can't even really tell that it's out of focus. And then this one, I think this one was probably my favorite of the day. I got up real close, which again, you're not really able to do this any other time of the year unless you want to be standing in water. So I used this rock as a foreground, and with the 14 to 24, if you sort of angle it forward, the barrel distortion stretches the top and bottom of the frame out quite a bit, so you can sort of make stuff like this look bigger. So the bottom looks bigger than it normally was, and then the top looks bigger as well because it stretches both sides. So I really like this one, and you'll probably notice when I edit waterfalls, I tend to bias a little cool in the water, where I think most people either try to go white or they even try to warm it up a little bit. Especially in the wintertime, I like to add a lot of blue hues into the white water just to make it feel colder. I mean, it's water. In my mind, it looks better when it's cold, especially in the wintertime. So I do a lot of dodging and burning, color dodging and burning, where I introduce blue highlights into the waterfall. And I mean, they're already kind of there because the sky is blue. This is the first one I liked with the 85mm. I kind of struggle with stuff like this because I haven't really had the chance to shoot big waterfalls where I can use a telephoto to pick out little details, and there wasn't a whole lot of details in this one because it's such a small waterfall. But using the 85, I think it just allowed me to handhold for a minute and just look around and see what looked nice. So I ended up using this, I think it was the left side? Yeah, this left pillar right here. And I just zoomed in on that one. This is still standing down on the ice. This was right before a bunch of people came in. I like it when people are in places, but when I'm there, I would prefer if they would fuck off forever and maybe die as well. But again, I added a lot of blue highlights into it, darkened down the edges, and then you'll also notice that a lot of these I end up putting a big radial filter on the top, and I use a little bit of negative dehaze and clarity and just sort of bring in that light source a little bit more, make it look like it's glowing from the sky. And then the last good one with the 85 was this one. And this one was actually not very great because people were coming in and leaving, and I had to get this really fast, and I ended up only using one of the frames because it was the sharpest, but even this one is not all that sharp. I had to do quite a bit of sharpening in Photoshop to get this look somewhat passable, and I mean, it's in focus, but there was just a little bit of camera shake that sort of messed it up slightly, but I still like it. The only thing I would probably change about this one is how cut off this left side of the frame is. I wish I would have taken just like 2 steps back and just gotten the whole thing, but I didn't really have time to play around, and I wanted to just get my piggy back to the truck to warm up. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I gave that time-lapse aids on accident. I thought that I was shooting at like 1/20 or 1/30. I could have sworn when I set the interval function on the Sony that that's what it was set to, but I realized later, actually after getting home, that I had set it to 1/50, so there wasn't very much motion in the cars. So on top of not having good conditions, it was also not very pleasing motion-wise, so I kind of shit the bed on that one, but I wasn't too upset about it because it wasn't a very pretty time-lapse to begin with. I also forgot one of the rules that I tend to follow is to shoot time-lapses wide open, which means you're gonna have to use an ND filter most of the time, because with electronic lenses, every time it takes a photo, it's gonna close the aperture down to your desired setting and then open it back up. And then close it down, open it back up. And there's slight little differences between when it closes and opens back up. Every shot is gonna be slightly different exposure-wise. So there was a little bit of flickering and stuff like that. You can kind of combat that in Lightroom, but not really, unless you want to go through every single photo, which is not worth the time, in my opinion. So there's a bit of flicker, the conditions were bad, and there was no motion. So I guess the only reason for that time lapse was for this video. I'll just have to try again another day when I actually have decent light. Appreciate you guys watching. I think me and Tyler are gonna do some more stuff like that. Maybe some more stupid bullshit sketches and maybe go camping or something when it gets warm. But I do appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe and stuff or something. I'll see you guys in the next one.